After the new house was renovated, I discovered my girlfriend's secret. I sneered, "The house is empty, why would I pay anything?" The property management quietly pulled up the surveillance footage. On the screen, my fiancé was embracing an unknown man, walking into the elevator, holding grocery bags, clearly like a cohabiting couple. The most ironic part was that this was the new house I had just finished renovating, and I hadn't even received the keys yet. I stared at the figures on the video, identical in build and hairstyle to my girlfriend, and froze. The property management also brought out a water bill. "Owner, if no one is living here, the water meter won't run, we're just following regulations." Water bill. This was probably bath water for two, wasn't it? And they were so damn clean. Most importantly, these two were messing around in my new house. After the new house was renovated, I had planned to let it air out for half a year before getting married. But my girlfriend had already consummated her relationship with another man there. This is truly sickening to the core. I pulled out my phone to confront Sarah, but the moment I dialed, I suddenly calmed down. I should talk to her parents first. A child's misdeeds reflect on their upbringing. After I told my story, Thomas was quite rigid. "David, you and Sarah are about to get married. She wouldn't do something like that." Seeing's attitude, I spoke directly. "I don't think Sarah and I are a good match. We should go our separate ways. The wedding funds." Before I could finish, Martha snatched the phone and gently comforted me. "David, it's just a few videos. They don't prove anything. Please don't be angry. There must be some misunderstanding. Don't worry, I'll make sure Sarah explains everything to you." Martha's words offered me some comfort. I watched the videos several more times, and indeed, other than them standing quite close, there didn't seem to be anything more inappropriate. Considering that Sarah and I had a very good relationship since we started dating, she was beautiful, had a good figure, and was understanding, I thought maybe there really was some misunderstanding. Sure enough, once Sarah found out, she immediately came to explain. She said the man was the renovation company's manager. I had been busy with work and left the renovation to her, but the renovation had finished half a year ago. "David, you don't worry about these things, so you don't know. The real trouble starts after the renovation is done. Any issue means you have to go to the site with the manager and discuss repairs." Sarah spoke righteously, showing no signs of guilt. I thought I was indeed thinking the worst of me. As for the water and electricity usage, if someone came for repairs, it made sense. "David, is that really what you think of me? Don't you know what kind of person I am by now? For you to suspect me like this, I truly feel that what I did for you wasn't worth it." Sarah spoke with tears in her eyes, lowering her head and sobbing plaintively. I couldn't stand to see women cry, especially Sarah. I immediately felt I had acted impulsively, like a terrible person, wanting to slap myself. When was with me, she was as pure as a blank sheet of paper. I cherished her, loved her, and held her in the palm of my hand. It was precisely for this reason that I decided to give her the wedding funds first, finalize the marriage, and even gave her $30,000 for renovation, so she could decorate it to her liking. I was originally a very traditional person, believing we shouldn't sleep together before marriage. But that night, Sarah kept plying me with drinks. When I woke up the next morning, she was lying next to me. Not long after, she found out she was pregnant. Unfortunately, the child wasn't saved. We went to the hospital for tests, which showed my poor quality was the reason Sarah couldn't carry the baby. Because of this, I felt extremely guilty, believing it was my fault Sarah suffered so much. Sarah was only 23 when she was with me, naive, and had never been in a relationship. She lost her innocence and a child. Any man would feel immense heartache with such a combination of circumstances. What's more, Sarah always thought of me, wanting to keep it a secret from her mother, afraid her mother would have a bad impression of me. Although Martha eventually found out by accident. To provide Sarah and her parents with security, I considered getting our marriage certificate. Sarah said her mother believed in feng shui, and that this year was an inauspicious year for marriage, so we should wait until next year to get married. So I gave their family the wedding funds in advance. I figured once the house was ready, we'd pick a good day to get married. I worked as a programmer at a major tech company. Nearing 30, I was at the most desirable age for a programmer, having worked on several major projects, so I had a good amount of savings. My parents had also built up some assets from their early business ventures. We weren't wealthy, but we were comfortably established. For the first 30 years, I was completely focused on work and had never been in a relationship. I felt like I had hit the jackpot, with things cleared up. Sarah and I went back to how we were before. One day, I was resting at home when my boss called, asking me to forward a work email to him. Just as he finished speaking, my phone died. I couldn't find my charging cable anywhere, so I went to Sarah's room to use her tablet. As I was about to open the email app, my eyes caught sight of the green icon. I've never had a habit of spying, but perhaps it was the recent incident that left me still shaken. I impulsively clicked on the green icon. Sarah's messaging app was still logged in. What greeted my eyes was an ongoing conversation between her and her mother. Mom, if David asks, don't spill the beans. Got it. Just say you were with me. Sarah, you need to be more careful. David was already suspicious after what happened last time. You know how hard it is to find a fool like him, a fool. My head buzzed. Was I the fool they were talking about? I continued to read, feeling like my mind was blown. You already called him a fool. What could he possibly figure out? His mind is always on his code and data. Last time, I just put on a little act, and he softened right up. The next day, out of guilt, he even bought me a bag worth over $1,000. Idiot. Men are so pathetic. Martha immediately sent a thumbs up emoji. So, her mother supported all her actions. I remembered Martha's gentle and amiable demeanor towards me. It was all fake. A sweet exterior can hide a deadly heart. My affection for her was nothing but pathetic and foolish in her eyes. Until I saw the next sentence. A heavy stone smashed into my chest. It felt like cement was poured into my mouth, rushing down my throat, into my windpipe, into my lungs, making it impossible for me to breathe. It's all thanks to your good teaching, Mom. You were the one who taught me to manipulate David with Marcus' child. My daughter is so charming. She has 2 men wrapped around her finger. Who was Marcus? A child. These 2 words connected in my mind. So, the child who made me feel so guilty was never mine. And these mother and daughter were actually exchanging compliments. I had become the purest fool. If I didn't settle this score with you, I wouldn't be a man. I searched for Marcus in Sarah's app. My girlfriend had even added client in front of it. What a clever ruse. I opened their chat history, and the content was unbearable to read. Was it good last time? Marcus' message was followed by a vulgar emoji. Is so naughty. But we can't go to the new house next time. What's wrong? Didn't you say it was exciting in the new house? Even after you're married, you can close your eyes and pretend I am there with you. They are truly those despicable cheaters. I never expected Sarah to be playing such twisted games. So pathetic. Was she planning to play cosplay with me after we got married? Seeking thrills in the new house, what was she thinking? The scene of her pretending to be innocent in front of me replayed in my mind. Usually, she'd act shy even when we just kissed. But now, just by reading the chat history, I could feel how promiscuous she was, let alone what she must be like in bed. He almost found out, but I managed to fool him, to my disbelief. He replied, the most dangerous place is the safest. Sarah immediately praised Marcus for being smart. Well, it seemed these 2 still planned to go to my new house. Fine, then I'll catch them red-handed. I called Alex, my best friend since childhood, to help me catch them. Buddy, what man would want to tell people about this? Don't worry, I am definitely on your side. I'll drink to that. I told him that when I went in to hit them, he just needed to film. I wanted to make those despicable cheaters lose face completely, but stopped me. A wise person avoids immediate trouble. We can get our revenge. But there's no need to implicate yourself. We also need to get back what's owed to you. Alex knew about the situation between Sarah and me, and he knew I had given Sarah the wedding funds and renovation money. Do you think you still want to live in this house in the future? I shook my head. Exactly. Since the relationship is over, we shouldn't let the money go too. Thinking it over, Alex was right. Originally, I just wanted to vent my anger, because had deliberately shown me how people demanded transfers back after a breakup, and then asked if I would do the same. Back then, blinded by love, I didn't think much of it. I transferred the $30,000 in wedding funds in several installments, all with specific notes. Finally, Sarah didn't forget to have me add the note, a voluntary gift. It turned out every step Sarah took with me was a path to ruin, no turning back. So what do you suggest I do? Use someone else's hand. Whose hand? After said that, he called me dense, and then I understood, from their chat history, I could tell Marcus had a wife. It would be even better if Marcus' wife went, using technology and databases, I narrowed down the possibilities and finally pinpointed Grace's number. Marcus' family ran a clothing factory, and his wife was busy with the factory every day. No wonder Marcus had time to mess around. I called his wife using a virtual number, pretending to place an order, and then arranged to meet Grace at my new house. Watching and Sarah go upstairs, I figured enough time had passed for them to have showered. They were probably getting intimate now. Alex suddenly said he needed to use the restroom. I told him Grace was coming soon. Couldn't he hold it for a bit? Alex said when nature calls, it calls quickly. With that, he ran off. I checked the time. Grace was almost here, and Alex still wasn't back. Was he just dragging his feet at the worst possible time? He was holding up the main event. Shortly after, Grace arrived. She called, and I used a voice changer to tell her I was in a meeting in the bedroom, and she could just enter the password and come in. The show was about to start, and Alex was nowhere to be found. I turned around, and Alex had somehow acquired a black balaclava, and was holding a baseball bat. What the hell? You trying to scare me to death? I thought I saw a ghost in broad daylight. You won't be the one seeing ghosts in a minute. With that, Alex pulled the balaclava directly over my head, and shoved the baseball bat into my hand. What are you doing? I asked, looking at Alex, confused. Just watching is going to satisfy you. I immediately understood, gritted my teeth, took the baseball bat, and stood up furiously. Let's beat those bastards. Let's do it. The two of us, brimming with determination, strode straight into the elevator. The moment the elevator doors opened, I heard Grace's polite and courteous voice. Hello, are you in the bedroom? Grace probably still genuinely thought she was there to talk business. Just as she reached the bedroom door, she realized the sounds from inside were clearly wrong. If she couldn't recognize her own husband's voice, she'd have lived in vain. Grace's anger was visible to the naked eye. She took 2 steps at a time, striding directly towards the bedroom. Marcus, is that you? The moment the door swung open, Marcus and Sarah were intertwined in an extremely twisted, difficult position, and they were playing such twisted games. Marcus, you animal. With that, Grace hurled her bag directly at him. Sarah screamed, pushing Marcus away. Marcus was completely bewildered. Honey, how did you get here? If I didn't come now, you two would be making babies. Hey, you know what? They had made a baby before. Alex and I exchanged a glance. We burst out from behind Grace and started beating the two on the bed. I hit Marcus first with a baseball bat, immediately knocking him senseless. Grace, well, take care of those despicable cheaters for you. Sarah hid behind Marcus, but Marcus couldn't even protect himself, let alone Sarah. Alex and I swung our baseball bats, blow after blow landing on those despicable cheaters. Marcus cried out in pain. Ow, that hurts, that hurts. Stop hitting us. Stop hitting us. Didn't you think about today, when you were messing around with my girlfriend? Marcus and Sarah pushed each other forward relentlessly, neither giving way, but no one could escape the baseball bats. Blows rained down from all directions. Only when Marcus and Sarah were bruised all over did Alex and I finally stop. We tidied our clothes and said to Grace, Grace, we're leaving now. Grace looked bewildered, her mouth agape in a daze, and she simply raised a hand to wave goodbye to us. Honey, let me explain. Explain what? How could you be so cruel, even hiring thugs? You nearly killed me. Hiring thugs. I don't even know who those people were. Downstairs, I asked Alex where he'd gone to pee, almost missing out on beating them. Alex calmly replied, property management, property management. What did you do at the property management office? When returned, she was looking down. The heavy foundation on her face still couldn't hide the bruises. Sarah walked towards the bedroom. I asked if she wasn't feeling well. Sarah just shook her head, saying she was tired and wanted to rest. How could she not be tired? She'd been beaten until she was exhausted. With that, I was about to leave, and Sarah asked me where I was going. I said the property management at the new house told me the surveillance camera was broken, an owner had lost something and needed the footage, requiring the homeowners association fund for repairs. The owner needed to go sign off on it. Didn't they say they weren't going to fix it? What's going on with property management? Sarah said this quickly and softly, thinking I hadn't heard her clearly. What did you say? Sarah clutched her forehead, feigning weakness. David, I think I have a bit of a fever. Can you not go? Stay with me. Fever. I think you're just horny. Wouldn't it be bad not to go? We'll be neighbors in the future, wouldn't that delay other people's business? Sarah held my hand tightly, almost pleading, please don't go. Can't you just give verbal authorization? Sarah looked up. I clearly saw the injuries on her face. I reached out and touched her face. Oh, how did you get this cut here? Sarah let go of my hand, overwhelmed with panic, and quickly explained, well, I accidentally bumped into something today. It's nothing. The property management called me again. Sarah's heart was in her throat, hearing that I didn't need to go. Sarah finally relaxed. Actually, I had anticipated this. After we left, Marcus and Grace would definitely be curious about our identities. The inevitable result would be for them to check the surveillance footage, and before the beating, Alex had claimed he needed to pee, but he was actually putting on a show for the property management staff. The old man who watched the surveillance cameras was Alex's great-uncle George. So, we were practically family. When Uncle George heard about this humiliating incident, how could he allow it? He immediately declared, death before dishonor, and said he absolutely wouldn't let the cameras capture a single hair of ours. Even if the King of Heaven himself came, that surveillance camera would still be broken. In the end, Marcus had to swallow a bitter pill, and it concluded with Grace stubbornly denying everything, unaware that she truly didn't know who we were. The beating they received was essentially for nothing. I just didn't expect Marcus to be so charming. He managed to appease both sides within a few days. Grace had quieted down, and even Sarah acted as if nothing had happened and started contacting Marcus again. It seemed that beating didn't make either of them learn their lesson at all. I opened my tablet and continued looking at Marcus and Sarah's chat history. Don't worry, Sarah. IVE got that Grace under control. IVE already told her I am divorcing her. When the clothing factory comes through, it'll be yours to manage. You're amazing. David hasn't made any moves, but I can't stand to be here for another minute. Can't stand to be around me. You should know that facing you every day is what's truly sickening. Sarah, just bear with it. A little longer. Have you found what I asked you to look for? I promise you, once this is done, we'll run away together. This deal, once it's made, will be for our future. Millimeters HMM. Love you. You remember your promise to me, too. Okay. I'll try my best to help you find the item. An item. Marcus wants to find something here with me. What item? Suddenly, a terrifying thought struck me. Marcus seemed to know a lot about me. He wanted Sarah to find something that was with me. I am a programmer. What could Marcus possibly need from me? I immediately thought of my work. A recent project I was involved in was a collaboration with a foreign company. I heard the program was designed for an upcoming shopping spree. I opened the program, checked the affiliated company, and then searched online. Sure enough, Marcus was from a competitor company of our collaborating brand. Marcus was planning to steal my work. It was chilling to think about. When did Marcus find out about this and start planning to target me? I decided to play along. You want to steal it? Huh. Here you go. But I am afraid you won't be able to handle the consequences. I deliberately and secretly placed the USB drive into the drawer in front of Sarah. Sarah came over, offering coffee, and trying to be attentive. David, what have you been busy with lately? I said it was nothing. Sarah pouted and said, why are you hiding it even from me? Don't you trust me? It's just company regulations, you know. And it's nothing really. You wouldn't understand anyway. It's just a program for the shopping spree. Merchants can use my program to optimize various aspects based on big data, targeting different demographics with tailored discounts to increase conversion rates. So, with this program, sales performance could be significantly boosted. Wouldn't that be like a money tree? I pushed up my glasses and chuckled. Something like that. Sarah's eyes shifted slightly, a smile she couldn't suppress playing on her lips. She actively offered herself, wrapping her arms around me, and trying to lead me to the bedroom. She hadn't been so seductive with me in a long time. Sometimes, Sarah's every gesture and look was full of allure, as if she were a natural-born temptress. At times, I even thought such professional moves and gazes seemed like she had received some specialized training, but the moment I thought about her doing all this for that other man, it turned my stomach. I declined Sarah, saying I was too tired and still had work to finish. The next morning, Sarah packed my things for me. I asked if she had put the USB drive from the drawer into my bag last night. She assured me she had. I knew she definitely hadn't put it in, because she was going to steal it. and give it to Marcus. Tomorrow was the start of the shopping spree. The moment Marcus' program went live, it would be doomed. Meanwhile, I had already prepared the new program and given it to our brand partner. That day, a major flaw appeared in Marcus' company. Their discount system had a loophole, and products launched on various platforms were exploited across the entire network, becoming zero-cost purchases. And the moment I detected the flaw, I forwarded it with a single click to the leaders of all the major deal-hunting groups. In less than 3 minutes, according to incomplete statistics, the loss caused to Marcus' company across major platforms online had already exceeded 50 million. In this day and age, only a fool wouldn't take advantage of a good deal, especially when it's perfectly legitimate to do so. The company approached Marcus, demanding he take responsibility, and he completely collapsed. The company demanded he compensate for all losses, or they would sue him. But even his program was stolen. He couldn't admit it, nor could he deny it. Marcus had to take responsibility no matter what. 50 million, that was practically his death sentence. He had originally hoped to get a promotion and a raise with this program, but now it was too big to handle, and it was going to cost him his career. Marcus naturally first pointed the finger at Sarah. Looking at the messages Marcus sent to Sarah on the tablet, his rage was palpable. Are you trying to kill me? Was this intentional? I was trying to help you, and you talk to me like this. I don't understand any of this. How could I harm you? How could Sarah know that I had swapped out the program she stole? Are you trying to use this to force me to divorce her? Let me tell you, my wife is my safety net. I will never divorce her. Why don't you look in a mirror and see what you are? Sarah wasn't one to be walked all over. Seeing curse her like that, she cursed him back. Marcus, you're an animal. I had your child, and you treat me like this. Did you never intend to divorce your wife? Were you lying when you told me you'd give me her clothing factory? Marcus laid it all out. That child could be anyone's. To me, it's just a cheap tramp. Trash. Just for fun. I used to pay to be with you, but now you're paying me to be with you. If you didn't have some use, I wouldn't even touch you. I've seen plenty of women like you. You had work done and then acted like she was pure. When tried to send another message, she found herself blocked. Serves her right. Now you see Marcus for who he really is, don't you? But Sline, I used to pay to be with you, truly shocked me again. What did that mean? Paying? Could it be that Sarah used to work in the adult entertainment industry? This was like a thunderbolt striking my head, giving me another considerable shock. Her unfaithfulness was one thing, but if Sarah used to work in the adult entertainment industry, and then sought me out to be her fall guy, was I the honest man Sarah found after returning from the big city? Damn. A woman like that. So unclean. The thought of it filled me with dread. Thinking of this, I rushed to the hospital. Give me a full STD screening. The nurse looked up at me. What kind of infectious disease? Sexually transmitted ones. I mumbled, head down, my face burning. Even in an open-minded era, one couldn't avoid being looked down upon. The nurse rolled her eyes at me, wrote out a slip, and handed it to me. Go over there for the blood draw. When will the results be ready? Just wait. Can it be rushed? I was on pins and needles. If I really had contracted something, I would truly let my parents down. They were counting on me for their old age, and my life had only just begun. Thinking of this, tears almost streamed down my face. My life plunged into despair. I couldn't imagine what I would do if I really had contracted something. Sarah, oh Sarah, you've completely ruined me. What were you doing before? Now you're in a hurry, the nurse muttered under her breath. I didn't dare to speak. I then asked the nurse if she could also test my genes, and she rolled her eyes at me even harder. Sarah had originally lied to me, saying there was an issue with the baby, and that my quality was poor. Now I wanted to check if I had any issues. Sarah, having been thwarted by Marcus, came back to me. The test results weren't out yet, and I was already seething with anger. David, when are we getting married? Even now, she still wanted to marry me. Sarah, are you really treating me like a fool? Do honest people deserve to be bullied by you? Is that it? Sarah was shocked, realizing something was wrong, but she remained stubbornly defiant. David, what are you saying? I don't understand. You don't understand. Then watch. The day, Alex had a hidden camera clipped to his collar, recording the entire process. Sarah watched the video, her face growing uglier. She reached out to grab it. David, stop playing it. Stop it. I know I was wrong. I really do. I truly love you. I just lost my head for a moment, led astray by his smooth words. I put away the video. Oh, do tell, what smooth words did he say to you? I'd like to learn. I had always been gentle, never raising my voice at her, and agreeing to all her requests. I cherished and adored her, only to be played for a fool in the end. He said he would divorce his wife, and give me that clothing factory. I sneered. He himself only got his start through his wife, and her uncle's connections to join that company. He's nothing but a parasite, and is still relying on him. Clearly, even Sarah was hearing this. For the first time, anyone can make empty promises. I could tell her she'd be a bank manager. Sarah, you two aren't just meeting now, are you? What? What do you mean? What do I mean? An exclusive escort service, Suite 88. When heard that familiar number, her eyes stared straight at me. After a few blinks, she collapsed powerlessly. Sarah had no idea I knew far more than she did. The day, after reading her chat history with Marcus, I had my doubts. I traced her account and found her other one. I downloaded the photos she had stored online, and laid them out in front of her, then did some digging. Her albums contained photos of her from various periods, of various provocations. Back then, she wore smoky eye makeup, a tight pink top, and a mini skirt. If they were just typical alternative style photos, it would have been one thing, but among them were several photos that exuded all the promiscuous air of women from the adult entertainment industry. Rickling's innocent and shy demeanor. When I first met her, it was a stark contrast. They were completely different people. I truly want to live a good life with you, David. You don't know how much I love you. Marcus, that scoundrel, forced me into it. He threatened to tell you about my past if I didn't get involved with him. With tears streaming down her face, a tragic past, and a shattered demeanor, she was a pitiful sight. I helped Sarah up from the floor, feigning shock, and then comforted her. Why didn't you tell me these things earlier? Marcus is truly despicable. After all, who doesn't have a past? I also want to live a good life with you, as long as you genuinely repent. But after giving you the wedding funds, and the renovation money, I don't have enough for the wedding anymore. People only get married once, and I still want to give you a proper ceremony. My words moved Sarah greatly. David, do you really feel that way? Are you truly still willing to marry me? I took Sarah's hand, of course. Or, you could wait for me, and we can get married once I've saved up enough money. Sarah no longer cared about such things. Wiping away her tears, she earnestly told me, you don't need to worry about the wedding money. As long as you're willing to marry me, I'll figure out the finances. I looked at Sarah with a pained expression. What solutions could a woman like you come up with? If you had a way, you wouldn't have been deceived by other men. The most hateful one is the man who deceived you. He clearly has a wife and still goes around messing with others. You don't need to worry about it. I watched Sarah gritting her teeth. I knew that, with my fanning the flames. Sarah had now completely turned her anger towards Marcus. I left my phone on the table. The video from earlier was on it. Sure enough, after I left, Sarah picked up the phone. I knew she intended to use that video to threaten Marcus. Sarah walked into the hallway and called Marcus. Why are you haunting me, woman? I have a video here, and I still have photos of you and me from before saved online. Didn't you tell your wife I seduced you? What if your wife found out about your promiscuous past? Marcus heard this and was enraged. You dare threaten me? Go ahead. I am not afraid of you. But his tone clearly lacked confidence. Marcus was already afraid. Is that so? What if these videos and photos appeared in your work chat group? With what happened before, plus this, I doubt you'd be able to stay at the company, right? At worst, it's scorched earth. If you won't let me have peace, you won't either. Give me 500,000. I know that's nothing to you. With that, Sarah hung up the phone. It seems women can be truly ruthless when they want to be. A few days later, Sarah said she had raised enough money for the wedding. I didn't rush to ask for it. Instead, I put on a worried face. Sarah nervously asked me what was wrong. I sighed. Sarah, after all, I am a man. I really can't stand you in the new house. So what do you mean? Don't worry. I thought you weren't that fond of that house, right? Let's sell that one and buy another one, okay? When heard I wasn't breaking up with her, and that getting a new house didn't mean asking her for money, she naturally agreed. I immediately took out my phone. Conveniently, I have a friend who's a real estate agent. I am prepared to sell this house at a loss of $75,000 for $225,000. What? Sell it for $225,000. David, are you all right? I took Sarah's hand. Aren't I trying to marry you quickly? A new house would still need renovating. To sell it fast, I have to sell it at a loss. This house was large. A single-family home. It was a bit far from the city center, but my parents bought it early for less than $150,000. During the years of rising property values, this house was now listed by agents for over $300,000. Selling it for $225,000 was clearly a steal. I knew Sarah was already calculating something. A few days earlier, I used big data to check the areas of interest Martha followed on various social media platforms, and discovered she was recently looking into property speculation. Martha contacted me within 2 days. David, I heard Sarah say is selling your house. I happen to be looking to buy one. Is selling it to someone anyway. Why not sell it to me? Mom, you can just live there. Why bother with buying it? How could that be? Even family keeps accounts straight. As for the price, you said you'd sell it for $225,000. Is that true? Of course, it's true. Why would I lie about that? Mom, do you really want it? Martha was overjoyed to hear that. I'll take this house. It's settled. You can't sell it to anyone else. The reason Martha was so eager was that she had discovered a business opportunity. Someone had posted online, offering a large sum to purchase a house in this neighborhood, and the requirements perfectly matched my house. Martha contacted that person, who offered to buy such a house for $330,000. Martha thought she could easily make about $105,000 from this. Martha kept urging me to sign the contract. The next day, I signed the contract with Martha. She even specifically found a real estate agent. David, Mom was just worried you'd be uneasy, so we found an intermediary to put your mind at ease. Mom, why would I be worried about you? Martha claimed there was no need for formalities among family, yet she scrutinized the contract repeatedly when signing it, even sending it to her lawyer for review until she was certain everything was in order before signing. Martha was certainly meticulous. Once everything was finalized, the house was successfully sold to Martha. Thanks, Mom. Don't mention thanks. I should be thanking you. As I looked at Martha's joyful expression, I couldn't wait to see her utterly devastated. Let her face the consequences for raising such a good daughter. Seeing the $1.5 million in my account, I felt much more at ease. The hospital's test results also came back. My lab reports were negative. Sarah hadn't infected me with any diseases. The hospital even provided a report confirming my good health, proving I was perfectly fine. I was never the one with the problem. My life suddenly seemed clear. I immediately bought a plane ticket straight out of the country. I was going to Trafalgar to clear my head, like in the movies. I'd been too stressed lately. I needed to free myself. I requested annual leave from the company. Considering my special contributions during the shopping festival, the company awarded me a $100,000 bonus and an additional half-month of vacation. Our company truly hit the jackpot with you. Our rival company messed up with some glitchy software, and now they're preparing bankruptcy documents. My phone, of course, was also turned off. Before I turned it off, the hospital called me, saying someone named Sarah was in critical condition and needed a family member to come to the hospital. I asked about the situation, not out of concern, but purely for my own amusement. Then I said to the person on the phone, I am sorry, you have the wrong number. I have no relation to her. It turned out Sarah, to get revenge on Marcus, had indeed sent the video to Grace and people at his company. Marcus had driven the company into bankruptcy. There was no way they'd keep him around. Moreover, due to Grace's connections, Marcus' uncle brought his family to confront Grace, demanding she pay them compensation. Grace also learned that they had been involved before, so she immediately hired thugs to severely beat Sarah, sending her to the hospital. Grace knew Sarah had once been pregnant with Marcus' child, and since Grace herself suffered from infertility, the thought enraged her even further. Not only did she ruin Marcus, but she also had people violently kick Sarah in the stomach. It was rumored her uterus was bleeding from the kicks. The nurse on the phone was muttering angrily, if a family member doesn't come soon, her uterus won't be saved. I thought such a woman didn't deserve to be a mother. A month later, property values plummeted. Martha desperately tried to contact me, but she couldn't get through to me at all. Martha had initially bought this house to get a steal, hoping to flip it for profit, but she didn't have that much money on hand. She gave me all her savings. and even borrowed some money from Thomas. However, that supposed buyer suddenly vanished. Of course, Martha couldn't find that buyer. It was a trap I had set for her. Human greed is the easiest weakness to exploit. A month ago, I had already used big data to analyze the real estate market data from recent months. Transactions of pre-owned homes were gradually falling, and the supply of existing homes far exceeded expectations. I wasn't a professional, and there was an element of gamble involved, but luckily, fate allowed me to win. My parents had bought this house for $800,000, and I resold it to Martha for $1.5 million. Thomas discovered that Martha had stolen money from their household. He interrogated her for a long time, before she finally confessed the truth. To his surprise, Thomas immediately wanted to divorce her. It turned out Martha had also worked in the sex industry in her youth. Later, when Sarah was born, her upbringing and education relied even more on finding men. When returned to her hometown, she sought out this married man and broke up his family. Richard now realized he had been deceived, and longed for his former wife and children. He was determined to divorce Martha. Martha had lost everything. There was no way she would just let Richard go. She tearfully knelt before him, begging him not to divorce her. I fanned the flames, sending Richard and his former 2 children photos and details of Martha's younger days and past. His children would never allow a woman like Sarah near their father. Perhaps the feelings weren't that deep, but the financial interests were certainly real. Richard's 2 children, to prevent his assets from being divided in the future, hired someone to severely beat Martha, forcing her to sign the divorce agreement. Only then did Martha realize that Richard had always been wary of her. It was only upon their divorce that she discovered he had already transferred all the assets under his name, leaving her with absolutely nothing. After scheming her entire life, she ultimately ruined herself and her daughter. Sarah and Martha had nowhere to go, so they moved into the house they had bought. Their life savings had bought them a house whose value had plummeted and couldn't be sold. Sarah suddenly had a nosebleed. After going to the hospital for a checkup, she found out it was leukemia. She asked the doctor why she had contracted such a disease. The doctor asked her if she had lived in a recently renovated house, or if inferior materials had been used. Sarah suddenly realized with a shock that of the $200,000 I had given her, she had spent less than $50,000 to save money. The renovation materials used were the cheapest quality, and the rest of the money went straight into her own pocket. The doctor glanced at Sarah and then admitted her to a hospital room. There was another patient before, who also lived in a recently renovated house for 6 months. They are gone now. What was that person's name? Marcus.